Jonathan Lee Riches investigate. Where is this white Hyundai Elantra? The white Hyundai Elantra, 2011 to 2013. We're talking about the Hyundai Elantra in reference to the Moscow, Idaho case. 4 college students brutally stabbed during the early morning hours of November 13th, 2022, inside a home in Moscow, Idaho. Police have made no arrest. They're looking for this white Hyundai Elantra. And it got me thinking, where could this Hyundai Elantra be? I assume that it's not in Moscow anymore. I assume it's not in the Moscow area. The way I've been communicating with some residents that live in that area, like everyone is looking for this Hyundai Elantra. And if it's been seen in Moscow, authorities would have went to it already. They would have vetted it through. People are searching around Moscow. It's a small community. I'm doubtful that it's in Moscow. I think it's gone. But where is it? Now, I wanted to do I did a little investigation here, and I'm going to throw this out to you guys and want to get you guys' input on this, right? So first thing I came up with is, okay, how big, how many gallons does a Hyundai Elantra hold? How many gallons, like their gas tank? How many gallons? And I will answer that question right now. Check it out. How many gallons does a Hyundai Elantra hold? 12.8 gallons. Okay, so remember those numbers. 12.8 gallons. 12.8 gallons. 12.8 gallons for a 2013 model Hyundai Elantra. Then I was thinking, okay, how many miles per gallon does that go? How many miles per gallon on those 12.8 gallon tank? So I Googled gas mileage for a 2013 Hyundai Elantra, and it says up to 28 miles per gallon city, 38 miles for highway. 28 in the city, 38 miles on highway. 38 miles on the highway, 28 in the city. So then I did more math. Okay, then how far can you get on a full tank of gas? Okay, so now I am doing 12.8 gallons times 38 miles per gallon equals 486 miles on highway on a full tank of gas. So you could get if the tank was full, you would get 486. So we'll just say just under 5, let's just be conservative, 450 miles you get on a full tank of gas on highway mileage. And then city mileage, 358. So, we'll just say 400. You get 400 miles on a full tank of gas on a Hyundai Elantra. 12.8 times 38 or 12.8 times 28. We'll do average. 400 miles. 400 miles. If you went on a full tank of gas, expanded out on there without stopping for gas, you could get 400 miles in a 2013 Hyundai Elantra. So then I got a map and I put it together here, and I want to share my results here. Check it out. So this is a pretty cool site here I use once in a while. So I put places to visit about 400 miles from Moscow, Idaho. And it's 427 miles to Jasper, Canada. 413 miles to Billings, Montana, 376 miles to the Grand Tetons, 418 miles to Elko, Nevada, 413 miles to Ashland, Oregon, 371 miles to Newport, Oregon, 360 miles to Whistler. And look, you see this circle? So in the center here is Moscow, and this whole circle here is 400 miles. So I'm just saying, if you left Moscow on a full tank of gas, now I don't know if you would leave on a full tank of gas because you would think authorities would have checked gas station surveillance all in the area to see if anyone actually got gas in a Hyundai Elantra within the last 24 hours. But if you were going to zoom out and just go to the farther distance the tank holds, this would be the general area. So within this circle here anywhere within the circle here you can get to on a full tank of gas without stopping. Now, you see that, and who knows if they went to Canada, because we've heard Border Patrol is up there looking for this white car. But, you could get all the way to Billings, Montana, the Grand Tetons, Elko. You can get to, Western Oregon. You could get to Seattle. Now, the question is, whoever left Moscow in that white Hyundai Elantra, and we're assuming they're gone, they left the area, did they stop at any gas stations to fuel up anywhere outside Moscow? So, Pullman, Colfax, Spokane, this town here, I never say it right, Coeur d'Alene, and so on and so on. So, the authorities, it's not necessarily hard like a needle in a haystack, because whoever has the Moscow, whoever has this Hyundai had to go somewhere with it. Where do you think? Do you think they actually took it to a location and then just parked it without getting gas at all? Or did they stop somewhere? And, you would think authorities would go through all these cities and ask, just ask these gas stations if they've seen a Hyundai Elantra, going into the 13th to 14th, 13th to 14th of November when the crime happened. So I just wanted to give you that perspective. This is, gas mileage on the Hyundai Elantra. Let me know what you think. So you could go pretty far. You could get all the way to, Billings, Montana, Elko, Nevada, western part of Oregon, Washington, all the way by Seattle, all the way up into Canada on 400 miles, right? So now I'm wondering, whoever's in this vehicle, did they stop somewhere to get gas? Because then you're thinking gas stations within that circle radius. They had to have gotten gas unless they drove to a residence or a location and parked the vehicle without getting gas. So I'm wondering if authorities have kind of like checked gas stations in these cities within that 400-mile circle and talked to these fuel stations like Flying J and Pilot and gas stations, looking for that, unless whoever was in this vehicle ditched it. And that's a possibility, too, that this vehicle has been ditched, especially if this was a hit. If this was a hit specifically coming to this home to do something, did they ditch the vehicle and get into another vehicle? Police haven't given haven't said anything about that. But that's definitely a possibility, too, with the lack of information that we know. But they're looking for this white Hyundai Elantra. The police public information officer, I think her name is Robbie Johnson, she went on the record a couple of days ago and said for a fact it was at that house. And they were looking for the occupant or occupants or the driver of that vehicle. So was the car stolen? Was the car borrowed? Was it a rent-a-car? I don't think it was a rental-car because it was old. And most times rental-cars, when you rent a car, you're usually getting a newer model with 30,000 miles or less, unless there's these private things called Turo. Somebody told me about Turo, which you can get cars one-on-one with, an individual one-on-one. I don't know, maybe authorities looking into that avenue, but this car is out there somewhere. And, now it very well could have got gas and then just slipped through the cracks and got gas and kept going and going beyond that 400-mile radius or within that 400-mile radius. But I wanted to give you a perspective of how far you could go with that car, with about 400 miles on for a full tank of gas. So subscribe to my channel, hit the notification button. What do you think? Where's the Hyundai Elantra? I'm focusing on that because that's what police are focusing on. We really don't have any other, leads or anything that they're sharing to make us look at people or anything like that, but the Hyundai Elantra. So where is it? Where is it? We'll talk soon. Justice for the victims. I'll be posting more. Anything I get, I'll post out there for y'all. And I want to hear from you guys. I want your feedback. I want all your feedback. We're praying for the victims. We're praying for the families. Everyone be safe. God bless.